So we have a process already in the works. We have started with our content brief, and we are in the process of moving from a content brief to a finished outline that's packed with all the data that you need in order to write your article. And let me tell you what this process is. So just to review, our content brief contains all the things that we need to know in order to write the article. It's got the parameters, it's got like the minimum bar that, like that you would need to know in order to be able to complete the content. For this particular article, for this particular set of research, I am using the CMOS project that I'm working on. I don't search article because it's the best way for me to actually learn this topic so that I have a foundation upon which to build the rest of the content strategy. So just to review, the big idea is basically telling you why this article is being written. The type of article is going to be a research article. For me, this article is going to be somewhere between 13 and 1,500 words. The target customer or target audience is health conscious consumers between the ages of 30 and probably 49. The intended result is more focused on actually just having a key piece of content that will help us to build that brand awareness so that we can be present in the market, and we'll have a hub of content that we can like cut and like paste and snip in order to make social media content out of it, right? Because in order to like build brand awareness, social media really is the best place to do that because it's where your audience is already active and participating and engaging in conversations around different topics. So being on social media, we want to have this piece of pillar, well, it's not really pillar content, but this piece of content that we can kind of like repurpose onto as different posts and stuff on social media. The similar content that I've seen, I have posted links to them here. These are some of the articles that I found most helpful in my research. Because this is a new project and a new website, we don't have any anchor links, no links to add into the content to link back to different places on our website. Just because remember, like at this stage in the research process, people are not ready to buy. They're looking to figure out, to learn all of the information about the problem that they have. They're not yet at the place where they're trying to find someone to solve that problem. They're just trying to understand the problem. So even if we did have like a basic home page up and like our product page or whatever, it would not be appropriate at this stage to link back to it or to talk about it at all. We have our keywords based on what we found in our Google search results. And then we have a potential outline based on what we found on Google under people also ask, right? So we went on Google and we typed in CMOS and we had some stuff to come up, some different topics to come up like CMOS benefits for women or how it affects your skin or can you detox, that kind of thing. So all of that stuff kind of goes at the bottom and we will synthesize it in the next step of the process. So the very next step of the process is that outline. This is my CMOS outline based on what we found on Google to be the most popular topics around CMOS. So for me is to start with the introduction and then to answer the question of what is CMOS, which CMOS is best, because I see a lot of talk about Irish CMOS. So if there's Irish CMOS, if we're using a modifier, there must be other types of CMOS. What does CMOS do for your body? Most popular reasons people have for taking CMOS. What are the side effects and how to incorporate it into your healthy living routine, right? So all of these little bullet points or these little touch points that we're going to touch on actually came from the Google search results when we were doing a search for CMOS. So just really quickly, just to refresh, let's see if we can do this quickly. Perfect. So CMOS, right? You type in CMOS without hitting enter and these topics come up, which tells me that these are the most popular topics that people are searching for around the general idea of CMOS. And then if you go to people also ask and then things to know, you'll get a whole list of things that people are curious about based on what they type into the Google search engine. Okay, so now that we have our naked outline with just our basic topics in it, we can start doing the research. Now, the thing that I have a couple of things to say about research. The first thing is that no matter how many resources you use, never copy and paste the same stats twice. Don't do that because it's going to make your research file longer than it has to be and extend the length of time it takes you to actually synthesize all this information, and it's not really helping you any. I typically say that I like to have twice as much research as far as word count goes as I actually need for the article, but in this case I found that a lot of the research was kind of regurgitating the same things over and over again. So my goal was just to find enough research to actually to make the article comprehensive, and valuable, right? So you can see that I kind of went right down this list. I have my source here, and then the title of the article, and then you can see right here that this article was published by Cleveland Health Clinic. I tried to go with the most reliable resources. This one is a nutritional profile of sea moss from USDA. This is WebMD. And I just kind of went back and forth to my outline to see what topics I needed to do information for. If there was like, if I got like halfway through and I found that I hadn't like done any research on a topic, I usually would make it red or something like that to let me know that I need to get, go ahead and do some research on that. So this is like this is the data that I pulled from my resources. One of the other things I want to say is that I found this article on Curvy Vegan. I had never heard of Curvy Vegan before, but the article was the two main different types of sea moss. Now there wasn't a whole lot of useful information in the top of the Google search results for the differences between the main types of sea moss. So this article was actually very helpful for me, and it was so in depth about how sea moss is sourced and how to tell the difference between the genus Gracilaria sea moss and the Chondrus crispus sea moss, that I actually believe that it is a valuable resource for me that I will be using going forward. Another surprising resource that I found was actually a YouTube video on the Eccentric Nature channel that talked about the differences between Irish sea moss and Major General sea moss, or that Gracilaria sea moss. So that was super useful for me as well, and it helped to educate me on the differences between those two types of sea moss. So now that I have my research file done, the next step is to duplicate my research file to create what's called a pull file. A pull file is going to be used in conjunction with the blank or the naked outline file. And what I do is I pull information, I copy and paste information from the actual research file, or from the copy of the research file, into where it should fall in the actual outline. So for instance, this first section is talking about what sea moss is. All of this, well, not all of that, but this first section right here that talks about what sea moss is goes in this section up here under what is sea moss. This section right here about the benefits of sea moss would go in the outline under benefits of sea moss, right? Promotes gut health, that whole thing. And that's the same bit of information. So I make sure that I usually start with this, and wherever this belongs, like wherever this piece of data belongs in the outline, that's where I would copy and paste it. So that one was about, our pull file gets copied and pasted over here. You'll see here that for the USDA, I actually took screenshots of the chart, the nutritional profile chart that was on the USDA website, and it is here. It's copied and pasted right into here. And the reason I do that is, one, because charts are very useful. And if you can recreate a chart and just credit I would recreate this chart, or have an illustrator or something recreate this chart. And underneath the chart, I would put the source as the USDA. But that would be super helpful, because if you just link back to where the chart is on the USDA website, people might leave your website and not come back. And it's like a pain in the neck to go to another website in the first place anyway, right? So as it relates to SEO and how Google reads people's behavior on websites, you want to keep them on your website for as long as humanly possible, which is why we have the topic clusters, right? It's because people can go from topic to topic to topic to topic and never actually leave your website. So I would just recreate this chart and leave it inside of the article, and then just credit the USDA as the source. So that's basically it. That's all the things. We go from the actual content brief, right, that we created, to an outline that kind of expands on the different things that we saw, the different topics we saw that were researched on Google. And then from the naked outline, we go to doing the actual research, where we go to Google and we ask Google a question about sea moss, and Google produces results, and then we read the resources. This research part took me about 2 hours, because it's only going to be a 1,500 word article, and I just needed the basics. So research, we make a copy, we duplicate the research document, and we rename it as a pull file, because we're going to pull information directly from this file and drop it into a duplicate of our outline. So that is how things progress. Brief to naked outline, do the research, create the pull file, drop the data from the pull file into the final article outline, and that is how research gets done. That's how winning is done, as Sylvester Stallone said in Rocky 50. So yeah, if you have any questions about that, then just let me know. I hope this has been useful for you. Let's move on to the next module, shall we?